Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session created for a schoolboy, very talented footballer that wanted to cope with tough decisions and the stress of being evaluated by coaches and scouts and things like that in a different way. His hero was the footballer Messi. So what you're going to be hearing in this particular hypnosis session is an element of tapping into the qualities of Messi. So not saying that he's going to be as talented as Messi, because he's one of the world's most talented footballers. That might not be feasible, but the qualities in Messi certainly can be emulated. And what was evident is that this boy had a lot of knowledge about Messi and Messi's life. So knew that he had a really strong work ethic, knew that he was very persistent, knew that he had the courage to make really tough decisions, and knew that he had the resilience to bounce back from setbacks and failures. And it's these qualities rather than the talent that this hypnosis session is aiming to first connect with and anchor, and then secondly, prime him so that when he was in these situations that would need resilience or a work ethic or this ability to change his state and have that resilience, he could access that and know when to access that. I think this session will be useful for children that are dealing with maybe tough times at school or the pressure of exams and things like that. But if you're listening to this maybe as a parent and you think that your child could benefit from hypnotherapy to make them more confident or make them more resourceful, there will be a link in the show notes that you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation call to explore working with me directly. For now, though, you might find this session is really useful. So whether it's for yourself or a child, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Okay, take a nice deep breath in for me. And when you breathe out, just close your eyes. Because when you close your eyes, it's easier to make pictures and movies in your imagination. And sometimes, when you feel relaxed, you use your imagination to think about things that haven't happened yet, things in your future that you want. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine that you're flying over the ocean to Argentina. And maybe you're flying on a plane, or maybe you feel like you're a superhero like Superman and you can just fly over the ocean, because this is just your imagination. And I want you to imagine that you're not just flying over an ocean to Argentina. I want you to imagine that you're also flying backwards in time. And I want you to imagine that you're flying all the way back in time to a time when there was a young boy called Messi playing football in a training ground somewhere in Argentina. And I want you to imagine that you can see him playing and you can tell that he's really talented and he's the same age that you are. And when you can imagine seeing him playing and maybe doing some tricks or practicing a free kick or dribbling, just let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to see him, and I want you to imagine that as you're looking at him, there's some boys around him that are calling him names, trying to bully him. And I want you to watch what happens. And I want you to see that this young boy, this footballer, he doesn't let it bother him. I want you to see that they try and upset him. They try and tell him he's not a good footballer. They tell him that he's comes from a poor family. But I want you to see that this young Messi that's the same age as you doesn't seem that bothered by it. He seems like it's not going to affect his mood. And I want you to get a sense that all it does is make him want to train even harder. And if you can see him being bullied by boys around him and it just makes him train harder, just let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I want you to imagine that you're stepping into his body. So you're no longer watching him. I want you to imagine that you are now a young Messi on a training field somewhere in Argentina. And I want you to feel that you have his talent inside you. I want you to feel that you're just as good as football as he was when he was your age. And I want you to feel how good it feels to be running with the ball. And you can run with the ball just as fast as if you didn't have the ball. I want you to feel how talented you feel. But more important than the talent, I want you to notice where this feeling is to train really hard. I want you to have this idea that you're willing to train harder than anyone else. That if there's something you don't understand, you're going to keep practicing it and keep practicing it until you get really good at it. And I want you to imagine that they're on that training ground. They're teaching all of the boys, including Messi, how to do an L turn. And I want you to imagine that you're then doing that in the body of young Messi. That's your age and you're doing that L turn and it feels really good to do it so well. And if it feels like you've learned how to do this move, just let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I want you to feel all of these qualities in you, and then I want you to imagine that it's now the future and there is a tough decision to be made. And that tough decision is that a football club all the way on the other side of the world wants them to join their academy. And I want you to imagine somewhere in your body is a feeling of courage. That it feels that you've got the ability to make a big, tough decision for two reasons. One, that you believe in yourself. And secondly, you want to help your family. And if you can feel that feeling of courage somewhere inside you, just let me know by nodding your head. You can feel that courage inside you, that's it. And then I want you to imagine that you're now playing in an academy all the way in Barcelona with other people your age. And I want you to imagine there is a really strict coach. And the strict coach I want you to imagine is telling you off and saying that you're not working hard enough in front of all of the other boys in the academy. But instead of wanting to give up, I want you to feel a feeling of persistence inside you. And if you can feel that persistence, a desire to never give up, to get the best that you can ever be, just let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And now I want you to imagine that you've still got all of those qualities that Messi has, but now I want you to imagine that you're in your body. And I want you to imagine that you can imagine what it feels like to be training just like Messi used to train, like you're training even harder than you normally train, concentrating even more, feeling even more talented than you already are. And I want you to imagine someone that you know tries to make you feel bad, maybe with words or maybe with a tackle. But instead of making you feel sad or frustrated, I want you to imagine that it makes you feel really resilient. And it makes you want to train even harder and get even better. And if you can feel that feeling, like you're in your body, surrounded by the people that you know, training where you normally train, and it makes you feel that you want to be more resilient and train even harder, just let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine that you're training really hard. And I want you to imagine that there are two things that you really want to do. And there's a tough decision to be made. And I want you to find that courage inside yourself to be willing to make a tough decision. And that tough decision might be to do less of one thing and more of something else. And if you can find that feeling of courage inside you, just let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And there's one final thing I want you to do while you're feeling this energy and qualities of Messi inside you, is I want you to imagine that a strict coach, trainer, or teacher tries to tell you off or embarrass you in front of people that you know, tries to make you feel bad or sad. Only this time, I want you to feel that it makes you even more persistent, even more focused and determined to get really, really good. And if you can imagine that for me, just let me know by nodding your head. And then I want you to imagine that you're now watching yourself with all of these qualities on a big screen. And I want you to see yourself either training or playing a football match, but with all these qualities of a really good work ethic where you train really hard. I want you to see yourself with all that resilience. And this is you in the future, maybe training or in a game. Maybe people are watching. I want you to see you with all that resilience, all that courage, and all that persistence. And if you can see yourself in the future with all of these qualities, just let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I want you to notice that when you think about yourself in the future with persistence and courage and resilience and tenacity, that gives you strength. And then when you're going through tough times, just thinking about yourself in the future makes it easier to let go of any frustrations and sadness and instead get really excited and determined for the future. And if it feels like some of the qualities that were in Messi when Messi was your age and now in you, just let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And now what I want you to do is really feel like you're in your body listening to me right now. So take a really deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. And I'm just going to count from 1 to 10. And then you're going to open your eyes feeling really alert, but really feeling like those qualities of work ethic, resilience, courage, and persistence are still there in you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.